I start my first day at school and I find out that I'm the only foreign teacher at the school. So my like first week or two, I like wake up in the morning, I walk to school, I teach my kids, and this is when I'm teaching like preschool. And I asked before, I was like, I speak zero Chinese. How am I going to be able to like teach these kids? They're like, oh, dude, you're teaching preschool. You're pretty much just like a clown.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Fasten those seatbelts and strap in. We'll get you to those margaritas ASAP.
Hola, bonjour. Ciao, belle mesdames et messieurs. Salam and salam.
Welcome back to another edition of Drop a Pin. Today, I'm excited because I think most of you, if you're following Donnie's YouTube channel, you came across his stuff because of his unbelievable excursions in China. We've been doing this show for a little over a year now, and we haven't really got into China except for a little bit with Chef Donnie. Today, that ends. Today, Donnie is going to walk us through some of his early days in China. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. If it's anything like the Kung Fu Cantina, we're in for an absolute ride.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people only know me as Donnie Does China.
Yeah.
But that is not the case anymore. I'm all over the place, but I started off as just a China guy.
Yeah.
And I still I run into a lot of fans. Like, dude, I was following your stuff from even before you worked for Barstool.
A lot of YouTubers that we've interviewed has said that too, that you're one of the OG travel people on YouTube.
And I think these China episodes are going to become a reoccurring series.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff that you did in that period of time that doing just one episode would not do it justice.
No, we're just going to have to slowly start chipping away. I mean, on this episode, we're going to go way back before I even released my first video.
Yeah,
because I was in China for a full year before I started putting out content. And that's kind of my like lost year that most people don't know about. And that year got dark, but it was also one of like the happiest years of my life too. It looks dark on paper when I talk about what I was doing.
Yeah.
But it was a great time. And
yeah, dude, I feel the same way about Fallujah.
I don't know if we can compare my year in Guangzhou, China to Fallujah. But
Sure you can. It was terrible. It was dark, but I mean, I made friends there that are lifelong. Most of the time wasn't fighting. Most of the time was like the boys fucking around.
True. And I do, to compare it to combat, I think kind of like being thrown in a foreign country with a bunch of other random people that are also foreigners helps you bond really fast in a way that I'm sure combat does too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the expat community, no matter what country you're in, it's like, hey, dude, we speak the same language. We know the same pop culture references. Because that's tough when you're in a different country talking to different people. Like the jokes that you make, they don't land because they don't have any idea your pop culture at all.
Yeah. And when I eventually went to Shanghai, there was tons of foreigners there. So that they were a dime a dozen. But I spent my first year in Guangzhou. A lot of people think it's pronounced Guangzhou. I see that all the time. It's also known as Canton. I feel like you've heard the word Canton before.
Yeah, like Cantonese.
Cantonese food, the Cantonese language, and that's in southern China, close to Hong Kong. But first, let's backtrack. Like, why did I move to China in the first place? Well, I graduated from college, a pretty prestigious college, but I did not feel prepared for the real world in the slightest.
If you don't know, he's talking about Tufts.
Yeah, shout out Tufts. I don't know. I mean, I did well at Tufts. I got good grades, but I feel like I just didn't learn any real life skills and stuff. And I applied to a few jobs in the U.S., didn't get them. I even got rejected from Teach for America. And that's like, we just need teachers to go and teach at the worst schools in our country. And
wow.
Yeah, they wouldn't have me.
That was before you even had an arrest record.
Yeah. No, I had a clean record at that point and a college degree. But no, Teach for America didn't even want me. So then I thought, I'll just do Unteach for China. If I can't make American kids smarter, I'll just go out to China and make Chinese kids dumber.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how I'll do my part in helping America. But no, so China got on my radar. I've always loved travel, but honestly, like in college, I was never like, oh, China is a place I would love to go to. But I did have one friend. He was the year below me in college. He was taking Chinese in school, and then he went abroad to Shanghai. He loved Shanghai so much he just dropped out of school and was like, I'm going to stay in Shanghai.
Wow.
Yeah, wild move. And he was the year below me. So I was graduating college, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay in Shanghai. You should come out here. And he was like, you can easily get a teaching job. So I started applying for some teaching jobs. And
How do you do that? Is that like monster.com?
they do have like monster.com for English teaching jobs. I did not really know how to navigate this. So I did not take a great job out there. Like he was telling me, dude, just like fly to China on a tourist visa. You'll be able to get a job in no time. I was a little too nervous to do that. Like the idea of just like flying to China with no job, like what seemed a little daunting when you know nothing about China.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't know, I think I knew ni hao. And that is it. So yeah, I've just like, I think it was on my like college job board. I found like this one company, being like, we'll get you set up with a school in China. And I was like, all right, I would love to go to Shanghai. That's where my friend is. And he was like, ooh, well, you got to be like older than 25 or have 2 years teaching experience to get a job in Shanghai, which was just not true at all. But he already had a school lined up in Guangzhou. He was like, I can get you a job there. And I was like, what the hell is Guangzhou? And
Yeah, like you get me. I've never heard of that city.
yeah. And he was like, dude, it's the third biggest city in China.
How many people live there?
It's enormous.
15 million, probably. Something like that.
Yeah, I guess around 19 million.
Wow.
Jeez. So he was like, nah, you got to go to Guangzhou. And this was like a slimy recruiter. So he would just get like paid, like I had to pay him to even find me a job. And then he was also getting paid by the school. And I also didn't know like how much you should be getting paid as a teacher. So like my contract was not great. He was like, they can either pay you 6,000 RMB a month and it will come with free housing, or you can get like 9,000 RMB a month and then you have to find your own apartment. So I was like, I don't want to worry about finding an apartment. I'll take the 6,000 RMB. That's like a little bit less than like $1,000 a month.
Oof. But does it go a long way?
Yeah.
There?
It definitely, your money goes further in China for sure. But I told him, I was like, I have 3 stipulations if I'm going to take this job. I would like to be living with another foreign teacher, and I would like to be living in like downtown Guangzhou. Because he was selling me on Guangzhou. He's like, it's a huge city, it's cosmopolitan, there's a lot of expats. And I was like, okay, yeah, as long as if I'm downtown and at least living with one other person who can speak some English, I'll be able to figure it out. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And then I arrive in China and I get like bussed out to the outskirts of the city, brought to my apartment. I am not living with anyone else. It's just me alone in this apartment. And my apartment is barely even in Guangzhou. It's not connected to the subway system. You got to take like an hour bus to like.
At least you can read the signs.
Yeah, no. Could not. Yeah, this is just knew zero Chinese. I remember I got to my apartment. It's like, it's completely bare. It's got like a bed, maybe a couch. And for some reason, there's a framed photo of Hillary Duff on my bedside table.
Well, that makes sense.
That was nice. That was comforting.
Absolutely a nice dumper on her.
I could not see the dumper. It was just her headshot.
Okay.
But yeah, she does have a great dumper.
Yeah.
I think she's like a mother of 5 now and married to a former
hockey player.
Yeah,
right?
former NHL player.
Shout out the Nashville Predators.
Yeah. So yeah, it was dark, and then I get I start my first day at school, and I find out that I'm the only foreign teacher at the school. So my like first week or two, I'm like, I like wake up in the morning, I walk to school, I teach my kids, and this is when I'm teaching like preschool.
Yeah.
So it's just me. And I asked before, I was like, I speak zero Chinese. How am I going to be able to like teach these kids? They're like, oh, dude, you're teaching preschool. You're pretty much just like a clown. You just gotta show up and like sing and dance. So like I would walk in, I would probably have like 15 kids per class. These kids were maybe like 4 years old. And I would just be like, doing like London bridges falling down, just like songs in English. I would be like, can you say apple? And then they'd be like, apple. And I'd be like, good, good, very good. Now,
Did you have any teaching experience or like being around kids or anything?
no, I babysat a few times in high school. So yeah, it was dark, and it was especially dark because none of the other teachers at the school could speak a word of English. So it's not like I was like after class talking to the other teachers. After class, I would just go and like sit at this desk and like stare at a computer. That's actually when I got more into Barstool Sports, because China has like a lot of websites blocked. They had like Facebook blocked, Gmail blocked, Instagram, all that stuff. But like Barstool Sports worked fine. So I would just go and like read Barstool blogs in between classes. But yeah, for like a week, I was just not really speaking to anyone, you know, because I go in, I have no one to talk to except I can like sing at these kids. And
That's
then
gotta feel so isolating.
It was. After a week, I called my parents and I was like, I think I'm going to come home. And they were just like, all right, at least you gave it the old college try.
Yeah.
But I kept on badgering the teaching company I was working for. I was like, are there any other foreigners just in my general region of like bumfuck Guangzhou? And they're like, yeah, there is one guy. And so they put me in touch with him. I got his phone number and I met up with him after school one day. Nice kid named Devin from Buffalo. And he was kind of in the same boat as me. He's like, what the fuck are we doing out here?
Yeah.
Like, because the only way to really go out on the weekends, there was a bus that would run from like 10 at night. The last bus into Guangzhou would be around 10 p.m. And then the next bus back to bumfuck Guangzhou would be at like 6 in the morning. So I started talking with him and I was like, if we want to go out, I guess we just need to leave at 10 p.m. and then stay out all night in downtown Guangzhou, and then we'll just take the first bus back in the morning. And I tried that once alone before I met him, and it was just a sad time. Me like, because I don't know where to go. It's a city of 19 million people.
Did like Google Maps or anything work on your phone, or was that even a thing?
Google
really
Maps
yet?
didn't work. There was this website called Internations, and they were like, we're having an expat meetup. And like I went, there was like 6 expats there. Didn't see myself being friends with any of them.
Yeah.
And then kind of just like went to a bar, kind of drank alone, and then was like wandered the streets until 6 in the morning, and then took the first bus back. And then when I would take the bus back, first the bus goes to like a station, and then my apartment's like a 10-minute taxi ride away. And I would take these motorbike taxis, which, have you ever taken those? You kind of just hop on the back of a random dude's motorcycle.
No, I've never done that.
It's fun. I took a lot of those in China.
You're just like
just holding on for
Dick
dear
to
life.
ass, yeah.
And he's just like veering like in and out of traffic. It's
like you're holding on to
yeah,
him?
just holding on to
Oh, I love it.
random dude.
Like
and
fucking Tom Cruise and Top Gun
yeah,
carrying the lady around.
yes, exactly. So yeah, and this was before I could speak any Chinese, so I would just need like to have in my phone, or I didn't have a smartphone, so maybe I would just write it on a piece of paper, and I would have like the address of my apartment, the address of the bus station, and everything like that, and just like I would wave over a motorcycle guy, like show him the address, and he would take me home. But so I linked up with this one other American that was living in my hood, and I think it was Halloween weekend. We were like, all right, we should try to go into town. I bet there's going to be like some Halloween parties or something. So, and then we'll just stay out all night and take the bus home in the morning. So we go to this place called The Tavern, and that's an Irish pub, and it was packed with foreigners, like people from all over the world. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know this existed in Guangzhou. So me and my friend are just playing a game, drinking beers, and then we would point at a random person in the bar and try to guess where they're from, and then we would go and ask them to confirm, and if like whoever was right, they had to buy the next round or something like that. A very fun drinking
That is
game.
fun.
Yeah. And we saw this.
Could delve into a little racism.
Yeah. Would it be racist? No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess if it's like, yeah, if you see a black guy and you're like Nigerian, and he's like, I'm American, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a little offensive. But yeah, I saw this fat bald dude and I was like, you know what? I bet he's from America.
That's a good guess.
Yeah. And then I was like, and then so I thought he was American. My other friend thought he was British. And so he walks up to him and he was like, "Are you British?" And he goes, "I'm not British. I'm from Liverpool." Just because people from Liverpool do not like to be called British.
Yeah.
They don't identify with England as a whole. They're scousers, loud and proud.
Shout out Patty.
Yep. Shout out Patty. And then the next words he says to me is, "Do you like drugs?" And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't mind drugs. And he just hands me a bag of like white powder of some sorts. He was like, "Go take a whack of that." I assumed it was blow. And so like I went in the bathroom. I think I like rolled up a note and I didn't even like put it on my hand. I just put the note in the bag and took a little huff.
Okay.
It was not blow. It was not blow. And also, you shouldn't take drugs from strangers. I was in like a dark place. I was like, I don't know. I need something to brighten my situation. But yeah, it was not blow. It was something called MCAT or meow meow. I don't know, Sam.
Was it like catnip?
No, it was not catnip. I don't know. I guess it was like they changed a bond of MDMA and that was able to like make it legal for Chinese factories to produce for a while. And then when they finally closed that loophole, a lot of these factories had this leftover drug that like, I don't know, some of the expats in China got their hands on. So yeah, it's pretty much a research chemical, bath salts. I don't know, but still to this day, I think that's the highest I have ever been off of any sort of drug. Like the entire bar just like zooms out. I feel like I'm like watching myself from above, and it's a Halloween party. So like everybody's wearing crazy costumes. I walk out, the owner of the bar is dressed as a panda and he's like trying to talk to me. And I just have to go find my friend and like grab his hand and be like, "Dude, I am like fucked up right now. So just make sure I don't do anything dumb."
Yeah.
And it's slowly but surely, like I came back down to earth. And then I think I started freestyle rapping for maybe a good like 20 minutes.
As one does.
Yep, as one does. And then I found that fat bald guy again. And I was like, "Dude, what the hell did you give me?" And he was like, "It's meow meow, MCAT, mate, MCAT." I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" The only MCATs that I knew are the test you have to take to get into med school.
Yeah.
But he was very friendly, and he was like, "Yeah, just hang out with us for the rest of the night." And he was with like a big crew of Brits from all over the place, like Manchester, Birmingham, Sheffield. So ended up hanging out. He was like, "I have a mate who's doing a DJ show across town." We went and watched his friend's DJ show. Eventually went back to his apartment. And he would just like, I guess this was like a reoccurring thing. He would always have these after parties at his apartment with just a bunch of rando expats. I forget if it was the first time I went back. I think we met some other random people at the bar that went back to the house party as well. One of them was also doing a lot of MCAT, and at some point was like, "I need to go out on your balcony and get some fresh air." And so we're all like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And we're all just shooting the shit. And then a girl who's there just screams at the top of her lungs. And we all look out at the balcony, and that kid had pooped himself.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to say jumped. That's
no. Yeah, he had pooped himself. He had poop just coming all down his legs. My buddy still has all these photos saved. I don't know if we can throw them in the pod. I kind of feel bad, but we have.
We'll just blur the face and just. I mean,
sure.
It's a Jersey Jerry moment.
Yeah, but this is worse than Jersey Jerry. There's just streaks of poop down his legs, just logs on the balcony, and everybody's just cracking up and laughing at him. And I was like, "Jesus, guys, come on! Like, this is like probably a very traumatic moment for him. Let's not shame him." So like,
no, you gotta shame him.
Yeah,
you gotta shame him.
So I walk out and I was like, "Don't worry, man. Happens to the best of us." And then the Scouser's like, "Yeah, when we're 5, mate." And then he like looks down and he was like, "Is that my poop?" And I had to break the news to him that it indeed was his poop.
Who else would it be?
I don't know. I don't know if he was
Somebody
if he was
pooped my pants.
Yeah, if he was trying to pin it on me. So that was my introduction to this crew of just crazy Brits. And like I got to know them all. I let them know. I was like, oh, we live in this apartment that's like we got to take a bus, 50 minutes from the closest subway station just to get to our apartment. And he was like, oh, anytime you can't make it back to your place, you're just welcome to hang out here all the time. So I slowly just became a member of that crew. I was the token American in this crew of crazy Brits. And from that weekend on, just, during the week, very little human interaction, would just go teach, not talk to anybody. And then come Friday after school, would just head into Guangzhou, stay at his place all weekend, and then take the bus back to my spot Sunday night.
I bet that little release at the end of the week of not being able to speak to anybody, and then you have that, just made you go like balls to the wall.
Yes, yeah, that was the hardest partying I have ever done. I mean, there were a lot of weekends where we would go out on Friday nights and then not sleep till Sunday night.
And you really don't have to do anything at work. You can sing Wheels on the Bus no matter how long ago you are.
Yes, I could do Wheels on the Bus on zero sleep. Yeah. And during the week, I was in bed by 9 p.m. every night. So just insanely quiet weeks, and then just like the most wild weekends I've ever had. Not necessarily wild, just like no sleep.
Yeah.
And I was fresh out of college at the time. This was late 2010, 2011. And my Scouse buddy, he was 5 years older than me, maybe 6 years older than me. So I was like, if he's doing it, and he was overweight. And I was like, if he can handle this, not sleeping on the weekends and just raging and like still going, because he was the headmaster at a school.
Fucking Dumbledore head ass.
Yes. So I was like, if he can party this hard and still manage to be the like beloved headmaster of a school in Guangzhou, then I think I can keep up as well. And it was awesome. Like that was, even though it was a very fucked up situation, like I have very fond memories from those days. And it was cool just being the token American. Like I feel like in America, everybody knows one token Brit, like the one random British kid in a group of friends, but you don't know a lot of token Americans. And they were some of the funniest people I know still to this day. And I mean, you can look at some of my previous podcast episodes and see this guy, the Scouser I'm talking about. I was hoping to have him on our podcast, but I think he has a new job, and he was like, yeah, I think I got to stop doing podcast appearances just in case like the parents at my school end up watching it or whatever.
Does he have a nickname like Porno Dave? Is there anything that he was called?
Yeah,
that
but
seems like a good nickname guy.
He did have a great nickname, but I don't even know if I want to say it on the pod. We'll just call him Scouse for now.
Okay.
Fat Scouse.
Okay.
He's not going to like that. He might prefer his actual name than us just calling him Fat Scouse. But yeah, great times. And like, I would still consider him one of my best friends to this day. Just a hilarious guy, filled with energy, and super friendly. He's the reason that I have a tattoo, actually. If you see, the only tattoo I have says "World's Still Spinning," because whenever someone was complaining back in those days or like freaking out about something, he'd be like, "Look outside, Gil. The world's still spinning."
It's a good phrase.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hakuna Matata, I guess, but world's still spinning. So keep that in mind. If you're going through some shit, just don't worry because the world is still spinning. But those Brits weren't the only people I hung out with. There was always just like randos coming through his after parties. There was a guy called Wild Alan, a Scottish guy that had the strongest Scottish brogue. You could not understand a word he said, which was kind of cool. Have you ever ran into people like that?
Scottish people are very difficult. Like I feel like Welsh is very difficult to understand what they're saying too.
Yes, yeah. If you've got a really strong accent,
yeah.
And there was like such a weird mix of people out there. There was a bunch of Gonzaga bros that I'm still friends with to this day, and they were out there. They were working for the same teaching company as me, but they kind of had a 5-year plan. They're like, we're just working for this teaching company while we get our kind of feet on the ground in China, and then we're going to start sourcing stuff and like create some companies. So they actually created a watch company. It was a watch and bag company called Vincero that used to advertise with Barstool a lot.
I thought you were going to say Brick.
No. Brick Watch?
Yeah.
One of them started a watch company out there, became insanely successful. It's called Original Grain. It's like those like wooden watches where it's like wood and steel.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. So like some of the people I met up there that were also kind of just fucking around that first year went on to become very successful. One of them somehow ended up working for like a venture capital firm in Hong Kong. And I'm still friends with that group of bros that like, but they kind of went over as all friends. They all, I think, lived in the same house at Gonzaga. And then one of them like studied Chinese in college. The other people were studying business. And I think 2010 was like a great time to go out to China and like start a company, make some connections with the factories out there and stuff.
Gonzaga, the school in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, isn't it in like Washington State?
I thought it was in California. I was in Northern California.
I think it's in Washington.
Oh yeah, Washington, Spokane.
Yeah. One of the highlights of my year out there though is when I got hired as a rapper at a club. Got paid maybe like $200 or something. This also came from, I was at a Christmas party and I guess I was freestyle rapping once again. And there was this like white rapper out there who went by Savant, a very like weird dude, like he thought he was the absolute fucking like man.
Well, yeah, he named himself Savant.
Yeah, Savant. He was also when you're the best white rapper in a city of 19 million.
Not to sidetrack, but I'm going to sidetrack.
Yeah.
I love Savants. Love them.
Yes.
Like there was one that I watched on 20 or 60 Minutes a few years ago, and by that I mean like 10 years ago. And it was this dude who was blind, and he was a blind savant, but it was musical. And he could play anything that he's ever heard. Like back to like when he was a kid, he can completely play it on the piano. And they would play like, can you play Bach, but play it like the Beach Boys wrote it? The Beach Boys in Bach, I can do that. And then he would immediately start playing it. And you were like, holy shit, that is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to know a guy at a bar in Clemson who could just hit bullseye on a dartboard over and over again. He was a little off, but would that be considered savant behavior too?
No, I think it typically like it involves a skill that most people wouldn't have. Like you could be a savant and be like I would imagine Beethoven was, because he was composing his own shit at like 3 years old.
Was Rain Man a savant?
Yes.
Well, just being able to keep on hitting bullseye over and over and over again, that's kind of savant behavior.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, you're right. You don't think of it as like this guy's a dart savant. Yeah. You think about the dude's like
math.
A math. Yeah.
Or I mean, even I don't know where the line of savant versus autistic goes, but I would imagine there's a bunch of overlap there.
For sure. It is. Isn't there that guy that can like recall every single day of his life? If you like name a date, he can tell you exactly what he was doing that day, which that just blows my mind. Like
Same.
I can't tell you what I was doing last Tuesday.
Yeah, like there's this one woman I saw her get interviewed, and they'd be like, when was the Challenger explosion? And she would obviously give the day, which I think there's a decent amount of people that might know that. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what time? And she would tell you the time. And be like, well, what time is it if it was in Moscow? And she could immediately calculate it, like what time it was. It was mind-blowing.
Wow.
And those people that can be like, all right, 742 times 1,758, and they just spit it out instantly.
Yep. Kind of like Mincy. He's very good at math.
Yeah. Frank the Tank with remembering different sports stats.
Mm-hmm. Dana Beers being able to name every single player in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't get how he knows that and then doesn't know anything about like other stuff.
I think he can only learn something that he is like that he's passionate about or something, and then just like didn't care about any class in school.
Brain
I don't
dumps
know.
everything else.
Yeah.
Well, not everything else. He's a great editor and
Yeah.
talented fella.
Okay, so I freestyle for this guy at a Christmas party, and the following day he's like, "Yo, I got double booked for New Year's. Would you be able to perform at a club for me in like Hunan, China, which was a couple provinces over from where I was?" And I was like, "I've never performed in my life." He was like, "Don't worry about it. Like, I'll send you up with a DJ. You kind of just need to rap on stage. The people don't even understand English, so it doesn't really even matter what you say, as long as you kind of just look cool on stage rapping." And so
That's a tall task.
yeah. So he gets me a train ticket, and I meet up with the DJ at the train station. And I'm like, yeah, this is my first time. And the DJ as well is like, yeah, this is my first time. I've never DJ'd a show in my life. And so I was like, what the hell, like, are we going to do? But we show up at this club, and somehow there's like a giant like poster of me like on the walls of this club outside. It's like, tonight we have MC Stu, because Stu's my middle name. Many people don't know that.
Like Stewart or just Stu?
Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's wild.
No, my middle name is Stewart, and just there's like a giant poster in front of the club. MC Stu performing
Zachary
tonight.
Stu would be a wild thing.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then we walk in the club, and they bring us like this VIP table. They bring over just like bottles of whiskey for us and a fruit platter. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to start drinking whiskey now, and we'll see what happens.
Let it rip.
Yep. Let it rip. And so, yeah, I don't even know how I coordinated with the DJ. I was like, yeah, just play like random beats, and I'll just like try to rap over them.
So let's get, I think because China's so massive and a lot of people don't know the structure, including me, how far is a couple provinces away?
The bullet trains are great there. This was maybe like a 4.5 hour train.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
something like that.
provinces pretty similar size to states, or is it vary? I mean, I guess states vary too.
Yeah, I guess there are some very large provinces like Xinjiang, Tibet. Those are the ones like out west that are huge.
Okay.
The train system though in China was great, and they've gone nuts. Like since I left, they've even built like thousands of miles of new high-speed trains. So like now the entire country is really connected via these train lines. And you know, I would always go Shanghai to Beijing, which I think is similar to like Boston to DC, but you could do that in like 4.5, 5 hours, where if you take the Amtrak Boston to DC, it's going to be 10 hours or something, or more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in my memory, I think the show went all right, but my last memory is just doing the countdown for New Year's while like chugging beers on stage. I think like the show eventually devolved into me just like, oh, watch this white guy chug a beer on stage.
I bet that kind of freed you up and was like the basis of your level of I don't give a fuck whenever you're out and about. Like, because if you're there doing that kind of stuff, I would imagine you kind of get over the I care about appearances thing. Like, people are going to look at you as a white guy rapping in China as probably a little weird anyway. So once you do that, it's got to be freeing.
Yeah, because people are going to look at you as weird, even if you're just like walking down the street,
Yeah.
keeping to yourself. So
Yeah.
that was kind of freeing. Like, I can do whatever I want. I'm not going to look that much more weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm just playing a guitar made up a country song and I'm out here in the middle of the park.
Yes. Yeah. So that definitely kind of led to how confident I am just putting myself out there. It's actually, I'll get kind of like more uncomfortable doing stuff in America because like I remember, you know, if I'm filming myself in China and like I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to the camera, the people around me don't really understand what I'm saying. They're like, hey, look, it's another weird white guy. There's a lot of those. Especially the white guys that end up in Guangzhou, China. They're all pretty weird.
Especially on the outskirts.
Yes. But whereas
Suburban gonzo. Or
if
whatever
I'm
the
on
fuck.
like a subway in the US and I'm doing like a vlog talking to the camera, that's like, I feel a lot more weird because
Yeah.
the people surrounding you can all hear what you're saying.
Yeah, even out at a restaurant when I'm trying to do like a drop a pin thing, I feel weird as shit going selfie mode and talking.
Yep. It is. Yeah. There's like some people that will really judge you for being an influencer,
Yeah.
but not in China. And so, yeah, blacked out on stage. And then we just took the train home. It took me a while to track down Savant and get my money, but he eventually paid me. I eventually got paid. And I think what we should do is eventually do an episode where I just talk about every single way I got paid in China. Like
Yeah,
all the just like batshit crazy jobs.
Yeah, I would love that.
But that was kind of that was like probably the weirdest way I made money while living in Guangzhou. Now, I mentioned the first half of the year I'm living on the outskirts of this city and I'm teaching preschool. For the second semester of that year, I convinced them to transfer me to a school that was more centrally located. And then I found an apartment near my fat scouse friend's place.
Nice.
Yes, but I went from teaching preschool to teaching middle school.
Middle schoolers are the fucking worst.
And I was teaching 7 to 8 classes a day. Each class had like 30 to 40 people in it. And I was still partying just as hard.
Okay.
So that was a little tougher. You're going off no sleep Friday to Sunday, and then you wake up and you're just walking into just swarms and swarms of students. I had to use one of those like headsets that had the mic.
Oh.
And then I had a box on my wrist that would like amplify my voice. I found that the only way I could really quiet the kids down is if I held the speaker if I held the mic to the speaker on my belt, it would make that really loud.
The squelch.
Yeah, the squelch. And there were times I would just be so lazy, just being like, all the kids are talking. I'm just like, just holding it there until everyone's quiet.
That must have been brutal when you were hungover from Fat Scouse.
Yeah, but then it's like it was either that or just like keep on yelling at the kids. I didn't want to yell at the kids, so I would just hold down the squelch button for a while until they quieted down.
How were they, like middle schoolers? Obviously, preschoolers aren't going to be bilingual. How were the kids there as far as their knowledge of English when you were trying to teach them? Was it more immersion based, like for them to learn English? Was that the goal?
Yeah, like I was told you don't need to like speak Chinese in this class at all. It's kind of just like, just do the whole class in English. Hopefully they'll be able to figure it out. But I'm trying to like remember what I was teaching these kids. Like I have zero recollection of what I was teaching them. Like I know I was doing the ABCs in preschool. What could I possibly have been teaching these middle schoolers? I think just probably trying to find activities where they get to like practice their English. I did have to give final exams, I remember. And I had to give final exams to I had to give one-on-one final exams to 40 kids in the span of like an hour. So I would just wait outside and like they would come, I would ask them like 3 questions and then I'd be like, all right, grade. And just like cycle through 40 kids and then do that again for the next class. I think I gave everybody a pretty good grade because I don't know if they would have given me a good grade, but yeah, I somehow got through that. But it's wild how much, because like even I had some friends out there that were teaching preschool. They had to give final exams to the preschoolers. And they were handed like a book and there'd be a picture of 3 fruits and they'd be like, all right, have the kid circle the apple. And these kids this was maybe even preschool. Like these kids didn't even know how to hold a crayon yet, but they were obligated to give a final exam. So then they would just hold the kid's hand, circle the apple and be like, you got an A.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. The Chinese love their exams. They love their tests. Now that year in China, I didn't get to explore a lot of the rest of China. I think a big reason why I was so open to taking a teaching job in China, because I was like, I'll have time off and be able to like travel to Thailand and Cambodia. So we had a big like Chinese New Year break, and that's when I did a quick little Thailand to Laos to Cambodia, where Laos is where I accidentally did meth. So that ended up not being a super relaxing vacation. But I did once I wrapped up that school year, I did make it up to Beijing, and I took a 25-hour sleeper train up there. I think now they have like a speed train where they could probably do that journey. Let's see how long that takes, because they're on opposite sides of the country. Guangzhou, yeah, Sam, can you look that up? Well,
How do you spell Guangzhou?
Guangzhou to Beijing. I'll look it up. Bullet train. Length. So it's 1,390 miles, and they can do it in 7.5 to 10.5 hours.
So I think that's basically maybe New Hampshire to Florida. 1,200 miles. I mean, I know for a fact it's halfway across the United States as a crow flies.
Yeah, it says actually it's approximately 1,400 miles. So 1,400 miles, is that New Hampshire to Florida?
I would imagine something like that. I mean, it's across the United States as a crow flies is 2,400 miles.
What is 1,400 miles from Boston? Nebraska, so...
Yeah, California to Kansas, that's halfway.
California to Kansas, so yeah, you're kind of going California to Kansas, but you're doing it in under 10 hours, which is insane. But I did not take one of those trains. I took the sleeper train, which is about 24 hours.
How was that? Was it like super crowded?
I really enjoyed the sleeper trains because for some reason I would usually, if I knew I was taking a sleeper train, I would kind of like stay out most of the previous nights. When I got on the train, I'm very tired, and something about the sound of the train just like lulls you to sleep.
Yeah, it's like those oscillating fans.
Yeah. So, I'd probably sleep for 10 hours. Then, I would wake up. They did have like a cafe cart, not good food. They would sell like packaged chicken feet and some like meal trays. Then I would drink some beers, maybe smoke a couple cigarettes.
So you could do that in the train, right? You can rip
people. So in Japan on the trains, they have like a car that's made for smoking cigarettes. In China, I think people would just go in between the train cars and smoke cigs. But yeah, you could play some cards. I don't think they had Wi-Fi on those long ones, so I don't remember watching any movies. But then I would like read for a while, and then you eventually make it up to Beijing. And this was cool. It was probably one of my highlights in China. We were able to camp on the Great Wall. I don't really. Maybe we read about someone else doing it. We pretty much just hired a taxi to pick us up in Beijing and then drop us off at the Great Wall. And we're like, come back here tomorrow morning and pick us up. And then we kind of just hiked up to the Great Wall. There's like very touristy sections, which I think are heavily guarded and there's tons of tourists. But then, I mean, it's the Great Wall. It's pretty damn big. There's also just large sections that like no one's really supervising. And we didn't bring like a tent or anything like that. We kind of just hiked up to it and then slept in one of the guard towers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It was awesome. Me and another buddy did get diarrhea up there.
Yeah.
And I remember
Same fella from the apartment?
No.
Different guy.
The dude who shat himself at the apartment, I think he ended up leaving China like 2 weeks later.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to get out of there. I mean, the expat community is not big.
It was not big.
You're for sure not getting any strange if you're the guy, like if you're Poop Bill.
Yes. I remember seeing him at a bar like a week later, and it was just, I never brought it up, but I think some other people at the bar were bringing it up.
Oh, I would bring it up every time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, remember that time you shit yourself on a balcony?
Dude, that was the MCAT.
Yeah.
I think, I guess we'll blame it on the MCAT. He was doing far too much of that. But yeah, me and my friend had to kind of poop in a plastic bag off the Great Wall and then toss it. We didn't get any poop on the wall. That would be very disrespectful.
Yeah, you can't do that. They frown on that.
I do remember we woke up and we saw some guards like at the other watchtower, like who saw us and were starting to walk towards us, and we all freaked out, and just ran down.
Do you think you get in trouble for it?
That's the thing, and we'll definitely talk about that on like a future pod. Is like probably not serious trouble. Because, like, for Chinese cops, it was always like, it's not really worth their while to try to, like, arrest a foreigner. There's probably all this paperwork you have to do. There's a language barrier.
Contacting the embassy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess is there a U.S. embassy in China?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah. I knew some people that worked for it, I think.
I think they took it out for a little while.
Yeah, I assume, like, right after Mao Zedong, like, rose up and it became communist China, there wasn't. And then I think it was Nixon, right, with that, like, ping pong diplomacy.
Oh, yeah.
That was, like, the first official, like, state visit where, like, Americans visited China since they became communist.
That would make sense.
So, yeah, now there is. It was kind of right around 1990 where China started to really open up to the Western world. I think Deng Xiaoping had a quote that's like, to become rich is glorious. So I'm like, because they were very communist for a while. And then they're like, well, we can still have a communist government, but our economy we can like open up our economy. What was his quote? Deng Xiaoping, to get rich. And that's when they didn't open up Shanghai at first. They opened up, have you ever heard of Shenzhen?
Mm-mm.
Sam, bring up a photo of Shenzhen before and after. So Shenzhen is in between Guangzhou and Hong Kong. And it was the first kind of city that they opened up, and then search up before and after. This will blow your mind.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's, what does it say?
1982 to current. God damn, dude. So if you're listening on the audio, it's like one looks barren, like there's nothing there, and then like there is some grass and greenery on one of the ones we just pulled up that's from 1980 versus the one in 2013. There is skyscrapers all over the place. It looks like Chicago skyline essentially, maybe even more high rises there. And then there's like mountains in the background, and the old one you can't even really see those because there's so many high rises. Remarkably different city.
Yep. So it was in 1980. They made it a special economic zone. So it was like the first part of China that could receive foreign investment. Now, and so in 1980 there was just nothing there. It was just a small village. Now it's a city of 17 million people.
Holy shit! And
it grew so fast.
Wow, in 45 years. I mean, I guess before that, 2013. So it must have really started establishing that in like the early 2000s, 90s?
Yeah, I think it first started growing in the 90s because like this was before you could even, as a foreigner, like invest or start a business in Shanghai. I think at first it was only Shenzhen.
Sam, the one that you have highlighted right now, go the one directly to the right because it looks like that. Nope. Middle row, second to the left. Nope, that's your right. There you go. Yeah, so there's 10 years apart on each one. Wow.
Yeah, so it went in 1984. It had a population of 143,000, and now it's over 17 million people.
God, that is insane, man.
So that's a big.
I wonder if that's the biggest population jump over 40 years in the history of the world.
Very good question.
Like just in one localized city to gain 17 million people in that amount of time, it's got to be one of the highest. I mean, because think about how long it took New York to get to where New York was. Like not 40 years, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when Chicago's population like grew insanely fast, and
But we still don't have 17 million here.
No. Like Chicago slowed down a bunch. I think there was a time when people thought Chicago was going to overtake New York, but that didn't happen.
That is crazy.
I wonder if it is because it's probably one of the most modern futuristic cities now just because it's so new. When you like walk through it, there's crazy lights on all the buildings. I'm sure they've got like all sorts of robots. My friend in China, he got a robotic massage 2 weeks ago, and he actually has the video, so we can throw in that vid. It is insane. I want you to watch this video and give me your impressions, whether you would like to get massaged by a robot.
Okay. It looks like the arm that's above you in like a dentist shop.
Yeah, I think there's one more vid too. But
I mean, yeah. I mean, I use that thumper thing. I don't know what it's actually called with the little ball on the end.
oh yeah, that's called a Theragun or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would do that. I mean, think about the precision that you could get, like where you're like, where does it hurt? And you point to it, it could really target that. And what those robots can do, like, have you seen the ones that are for surgery that can take the skin off of a grape?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
if they
I've seen those vids. Those are insane.
If they have that level of technology and they apply it to a masseuse, it's got to be the best massage of all time. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it could do a happy ending.
I mean, we definitely have that technology for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, they have blowjob machines in Japan.
Yeah, you can get one on Amazon too.
Yeah, okay. How much do those run you?
I mean, you could probably run that bad boy for a smooth $24.
Okay, because they've got like, state of the art blowjob machines in Japan.
Oh yeah.
I have not used them yet, but
All right, continue with China stories.
yeah. Well, that same friend who got a robotic massage, I don't know if it was him or someone else, but they saw a robot on the streets of Shanghai recently walking a dog. So they're really going. I think like we're gonna start seeing a lot more.
I wouldn't
robots.
trust a robot to walk my dog. Like
No.
at all. Because it's got to malfunction from time to time. I would imagine. Like, you can't just have a robot that's perfect. Even those ones that go around here for, like, Uber Eats, that freaks me out. When you just see them rolling down the street by themselves.
Those are very creepy. When you hear, because like I was walking down the street and I was like, is someone following me? And I turned around and it was there. It was like slowly creeping up on me. And then as soon as I got out of the way, it just blew past me.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I felt like I was being stalked by one of those things. Yeah, so we got to the end of that year, and I was having so much fun, but I was also like, this sort of lifestyle is probably not sustainable. Just raging all week and then teaching thousands of middle schoolers. Raging all weekend and then teaching thousands of middle schoolers during the week. So I was like, I also thought, I was like, I didn't come to China because I would like to be a teacher for the rest of my life.
Right.
But I wasn't ready to leave China. I had so much fun. I had made so many good friends that after that 10-month teaching contract, I was like, okay, now that I've kind of got my bearings in China, I'll be able to just go up to Shanghai without a job and figure it out. Because I still had one friend up there, and he already had a lot of friends in Shanghai. So that's what I did. I went back to the U.S. for a few months and then flew back out to Shanghai. And I guess that's where the real Donnie Does China story begins. I think we can kind of save Shanghai for future episodes.
Yeah.
If we just want to like talk about the city of Guangzhou.
Yeah, when
general.
did you start to feel, because I imagine the first probably at least 2 months are completely overwhelming. When did you start to feel a touch comfortable?
Once the fat scouse took me under his wing.
Okay.
I think I was like, okay, now I'm having fun. And so, yeah, that was because like after 2 weeks, I had called my parents and I was like, yep, I'm coming home. And so if I arrived in September, it was probably like, yeah, the first kind of month and a half was really rough. But then Halloween onwards, I was having a great time.
Nice.
Also, I wasn't a big club guy in college because like no one can afford to go to the clubs in the U.S. And then all of a sudden you end up in China and you're at these mega clubs. And this was more in Shanghai, but some of those mega clubs would have like a table for white people just to drink for free. Which was, they would be like, oh, if we attract more foreigners to our club, it will like make us look more legit. And I thought that was pretty sweet at first, only to find out that they were just serving us fake alcohol, which I think we've talked about fake alcohol on this pod.
Yeah.
And when I go into Shanghai, when we start doing our Shanghai pods, we'll definitely talk more about that.
Now, what about the topography and the environment that you're in there? Is there any? Was it beautiful? Was it shitty? Was it flat?
So Guangzhou, it's kind of, I feel like I was there right before it really blew up. It was obviously a huge city when I arrived, but the expat scene wasn't that big. I would go days without really seeing another foreigner. Now it's got a huge expat scene and a very like vibrant expat scene. And its skyline has taken off too. Have you ever seen the Canton Tower?
Mm-mm.
Very beautiful building. Probably taller than like all buildings in the U.S., but bring up a big photo of that.
Yeah.
And
Very spindly.
yeah, that's
So it does look pretty flat. Oh, it's river access.
yeah. So it's on the Pearl River, the Zhejiang River, and so that area it's called the Pearl River Delta. And I think the Pearl River Delta, it's got to be one of the most populated places on the planet because you've got Guangzhou, you've got Dongguan, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Macau. Canton was kind of the first city in China to start trading with the outside world. And it was actually the only place in China that could, like, before the Opium Wars and stuff, it was the only place in China that could legally trade with the outside world. And they had, like, there was one, if you go down the Pearl River, there was an island in the middle of the river, and like foreigners had to stay on that island. And then the Chinese people could go to them and they could trade, work out deals. But if you were a foreigner, you weren't allowed any deeper in China than that island. And that's where they were like importing a lot of the opium and stuff. And then China said, no, cut it out. And the Brits were like, we're making way too much money selling you guys opium. So that's not an option.
Yeah.
And they went to war just so they could keep on selling opium to the Chinese. And after they won that war, that's when they were like, China was forced to grant them ports in like Shenzhen, not Shenzhen, in Shanghai, Tianjin, a bunch of different places. Oh, and Hong Kong. That's how the Brits got Hong Kong originally.
Okay. As far as going hippo mode, is that river clean enough to go hippo mode?
It is not. And I don't think I ever stepped foot in that river. It's not a clean river. I mean, there's thoughts that the PRD, the Pearl River Delta, could be considered like the world's first mega city. If you consider, because some of those cities are growing so big that now there's like subway connections that connect them. So they're like, if you consider all these cities, like eventually all the cities might just become one big city that will be easily the largest mega city on the planet.
Yeah, because you're talking about several cities in China, maybe 10 that are bigger than New York City.
Yeah,
Like by a long
all in the
shot.
same
Like,
area.
even the one you were at is damn near triple the population of New York City. Because I think New York City's is only 8 million.
Yeah, New York might be 9 or
Something like 8 or 9. It's not 17 for sure.
might be New York might be 11 at the highest, but yeah, it's so they
8.5.
say the region is one of the most densely populated and urbanized regions in the world and is considered a megacity by numerous scholars. So overall, it's got a population, if you just look at the Pearl River Delta, population of 86 million people.
Yeah. So you're talking about just in the city that you're in, higher population than New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Dallas combined. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it is, but it was kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, it's very flat. There wasn't a lot to see like in the city. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot. It's where dim sum's from, so you can get great dim sum. It's like it's Cantonese food, so like I guess most of their food is steamed. That's kind of how they make everything. You know those big like steam, like you see like a stack of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the little like wicker baskets almost.
exactly. Yeah, that's how they would cook a lot of their food. They're known for eating the weirdest foods. There's like a saying about the Cantonese that like if it flies, walks, or swims, they'll eat it. Or like
Include bats.
including bats. I think I never saw people eating bats out there.
Yeah.
No, maybe the saying is that people from Canton will eat anything with 4 legs except for a table. And I did, when I first arrived there, this was the only time I saw it in China, but I was wandering around some back streets and I saw some people preparing to sell dogs as meat.
Yeah.
So they had already been killed and they were just kind of being butchered. But that's not something you see commonly in China, except for like one city in China is famous for eating dogs, and they have the dog meat festival each year. I was
Would you
thinking,
rather go to that one or the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival?
oh, the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival, hands
Easily.
down.
I want to go there anyways.
I would go to the dog eat meeting festival though if we could pull a move like Elliot from E.T. You know when he frees all the frogs?
Yeah.
They're about to dissect all the frogs. If we went to
Yeah.
like the dog meat eating festival and we just
Yeah.
freed all the dogs.
That would be a great video.
Yeah, great PR. Even if we
Oh,
got
yeah.
locked up for a bit, that you'd be the man when you come back to the US.
That would do numbies.
Yes.
It might pass your mole people video.
Us just freeing all the dogs.
Yeah.
If we went there and we just try to open as many cages as possible.
Yeah, we come back. That's a good Morning America trip for sure.
Well, I still have a Chinese visa for the next 9 years, I think. So
Wow.
yeah. Well, yeah. When I went, maybe it's 8 years now, but the last time I went, they gave me a 10-year visa.
Damn.
Yeah, I think after COVID, there was like no tourists going to China. And at first they were happy about that. But then they're like, oh, we actually do need some tourism. And so now they're making it a lot easier for foreigners to visit China.
And you cannot get, if you're not born there, you cannot get citizenship. Is that correct?
Yeah, I
Like
think,
getting Chinese citizenship is almost impossible.
yes, that's almost impossible. You can maybe get some sort of honorary green card or something like that. I feel like they gave Stefan Marbury maybe like the honorary green card.
Jimmer?
Jimmer didn't get it. He wasn't there long enough. Yeah, the PRD, dude, I'm looking at it on a map. It's insane. It's got to be the most populated area on the planet. It was like night and day though. My first time, I'm living in Guangzhou and I knew one person in Hong Kong. So I took the train, I went over the border and I was like, whoa. Like Hong Kong did not feel like Guangzhou at all. It felt like I was in a completely different country, which I was, even though they're still both considered part of China. It's like two systems, one state or something like that. And I mean, have we done a Hong Kong episode yet? I think we should. Hong Kong was almost too much fun to handle when I first went there. Cause like
Bring in Stephen Cheah.
maybe Cheah's dad.
Yeah.
Cheah does not know, unfortunately, anything about Hong Kong. He should visit though. But yeah, Hong Kong was so much fun. I maybe shared this story, but my first time there, I was staying at a place called Chungking Mansions. Have we talked about that on the pod? Oh my God, dude. It's like a city in a building. And there's like 4 tower blocks in the building.
Oh yeah, we have. I think we have mentioned that before.
It's the cheapest place to stay in Hong Kong, all these tiny little guest house. And so I stayed there, went out with some friends, blacked out, and then I woke up in a building like down the street. Not in Chungking Mansions, in a building down the street with a girl, but I was fully clothed. And I had not been robbed. I still had my passport, my wallet, my camera, somehow magically. And I woke up, I was like, what time is it? And she was like, oh, it's 12. I thought it was midnight that same night. Walked out, it was 12 noon the following day.
Jeez.
And I was like, where's Chungking Mansions? I was just 2 blocks away. So I don't know how I somehow didn't make it home. But
Is that slummy vibes?
yeah, it's slummy vibes. They have very good Indian food there. Like that area of Hong Kong, tons of Indians and Africans, a bunch of like secondhand phones being sold, secondhand anything. I got lost in the building one time. I couldn't find which like tower block my hotel was in. And I came across a factory on the 7th floor, people just making clothes in there. It's literally, you can find whatever you're looking for in that building. It is insane. I think they made some great movies about it back in the day, some like gangster movies. But yeah, I would say there's, there were some drug dealers outside selling meth and weed. So It is. I wouldn't say it's not the fancy part of Hong Kong.
How was the crime?
The crime in Guangzhou and in like Hong Kong
Or Guangzhou specifically?
Guangzhou, not bad at all. I got pickpocketed once, and that's I think the only thing that happened to me the entire time I was there.
I love watching pickpocket videos on TikTok.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I think I was on the subway, and then we got to a stop, and someone took my wallet, got out of the subway, and then as soon as we were pulling away from the station, I realized I didn't have it on me.
I like the ones where they get, like, there's this one dude in Italy where he goes around in Rome, and if he sees a pickpocket, he's like, pickpocket, and he just chases them down, is like, pickpocket over again, and the people that are the pickpocket, they run away, and he chases after them, screaming it. It's awesome.
I saw someone trying to call out scams in Rome, and then he ends up getting chased down by the scammers. I don't know if it was the same guy or not.
Probably not. I also like the dude who, if somebody's smoking in London, and you have those, like, not civilian, but like security officers that go around and try to give you a ticket, and they'll be like, no, they're not cops. They can't do shit. Don't give them your information. Just walk away, and they can't do anything. And so people just start doing it. It's great.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
So like if somebody's smoking in London, it's against the law to smoke in public squares in London now. So they have these cops that'll try to come up to you and give you a fine if you're doing it. But they're not cops. They don't have any authority to tell you anything. But people don't know that. So you'll have a couple guys that go around like, just walk away. They can't do anything. It's bullshit. Just walk away. And the people will, and they'll go inside, and they can't do anything.
Damn, I did not know that was a rule in London now.
Yeah.
I think that's a rule in Japan, too. Like, in Japan, you can smoke inside almost all restaurants. But when you're out in public, there's, like, certain, like, hoon lounges where you should smoke. They don't want people walking down the street smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And some of them are beautiful. They're, like, nice little, like, parks and stuff. They're like, if you want to smoke, go here.
Yeah, because smoking is so part of that culture.
More so than China, which is shocking. Like China eventually banned smoking indoors, but my whole year in Guangzhou, that's kind of when I first started to smoke cigarettes. Because one, they were $1.25 a pack, and two, if you're in a club and a bar, you're just breathing in the cigarette smoke already. So,
and I feel like Japan, you get more nicotine from a candy cigarette than some of their cigarettes.
Oh yes, yeah. In Japan,
they're nothing.
Yeah, they're nothing. That's not the case in China. Some of the cigarettes in China will knock you on your butt.
Heat.
Yeah. An interesting fact about Guangzhou is they actually have an Africa town. So it is, I think in most of China, it's kind of like rare seeing black people. They're just not really around. But Guangzhou trades so much with Africa that there's tons of African businessmen, and there's one part of the city where like you could go, you can listen to African music, you could eat African cuisine, which was very cool because like obviously we have Chinatowns in the US, but it's like what does China have? They have Little Liverpool and Africa Town.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they don't actually have a Little Liverpool, but it felt like that because like all the scousers I met all kind of lived in this same complex to the south of the city.
Nice.
But it's like that's what if you go to Shanghai, you'll meet a lot of like Southern Brits, so like a lot of kind of more posh Brits and a lot of people from the U.S. and French. It's kind of the more fancier foreigners, I guess. And then when you go to Guangzhou, then a lot of like Eastern Europeans, a lot of Northern Brits, like Scousers, a lot of Scottish, me, and a lot of Africans too. Because it still is one of the trade capitals of the world. They have something called the Canton Fair once a year, which is like the largest trade fair on the planet, I believe. Yeah. So shout out Cantonese food. Shout out the Cantonese language. I did not learn, I think, a single word of Cantonese that year I was there.
I gotta say, that's probably the first time on a Barstool Sports podcast that Cantonese got a shout out.
Yeah. I mean, Cantonese is a hard language. You know, like China Mandarin has 4 tones. I think Cantonese has 7 or 9 tones. That's why it sounds like. Would you be able to tell? Say if I brought in 3 Chinese people, one person spoke some Mandarin to you, the other person spoke Cantonese. Would you be able to tell what was Cantonese and what was Mandarin?
I don't think I would know anything less than that. Like, no way. No shot.
I think it's very, once you know about the tones, is that Cantonese will be a lot more like, I don't want to do like a fake Cantonese accent right now on the pod, but yeah, you can tell. It's so, yeah, Cantonese has like 6 tones, where the language is kind of like, all right, I'm not doing that. That's only going to be bad. But yeah, the language is a lot more up and down than Mandarin. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, going anywhere, like I think there's a big difference between doing it on like Duolingo that's like slow and methodical and how it goes through it versus conversational. Like you could take as many Spanish classes as you want, but once you go talk to people in Mexico, it's just wildly different.
Mm-hmm. Something I noticed in Hong Kong, I think Hong Kongese people speaking English with a very strong Hong Kongese accent, that sounds like your most stereotypical Chinese accent.
You want to try that one?
No, I'm not going to try it. But so when we do another China episode, also fans, feel free to reach out about what you want to hear. One way I think would be fun to break it up is like doing one episode just about all the weird jobs that I had out there.
Let's do that one next.
Yep. And then just an episode about nightlife, all the crazy nightlife stories from up in Shanghai. And then we could do one episode just about other kind of like side quests in China I took, like things that happened outside of Shanghai.
I wouldn't mind doing one on your favorite foods and least favorite foods from over there.
Yeah, just Chinese cuisine.
Mm-hmm. Any goo ducks?
Geoducks? Or yeah, no. How do you pronounce that? You know what? I saw them all over the place there. How do you pronounce it? It's definitely not goo ducks, but
I think I said geoducks or goo ducks. I probably said goo ducks. Yeah, those things look like a big old. I'm gonna say cock.
Gooey duck.
Gooey duck. Yeah.
Gooey duck. Now, could we get one of those in the office? I bet you they have them in Chinatown because that would be. I would love to like walk around the office. They look good. I mean, if you like clams, it's just a gigantic clam.
I don't know if I would say they look good.
Well,
I would say they look fucking disgusting.
It looks like a giant horse cock, but the thing is, you wouldn't be eating it like a horse cock. You would be, like thinly slice it.
Do it prepared. Geoduck prepared.
Wow. Gooey duck sashimi grade is $100 a pound in Chicago.
Oh, that's not bad. That does look fine. You could put that on like a cracker.
Yeah. Once it's sliced up.
Yeah. You just don't want that brought out whole. Like you don't want that just straight up in your mouth.
No, you don't want to be sucking on that.
No. Like a crawfish where you got to suck the juice out of the head. You don't want that.
Yeah. Just because this will be the official Guangzhou episode and we'll move on to Shanghai in the next one. I think the weirdest food that I ate in Guangzhou was I went to like a really fancy snake restaurant and we had like 3 different types of snake. One had a dry rub on it. One had more of a wet barbecue sauce. Really good meat. Honestly, not bad at all. It was like I was tutoring a kid and the parents were like very happy with the tutoring I'd been doing. They're like, we'd like to thank you by taking you out to dinner. And they brought me to a snake spot.
Yeah, I've had rattlesnake and that's delicious.
Yeah, so not bad. I don't really fuck with turtle. The one time I had turtle in China was not a fan. But you know,
what is it like? Super chewy, fatty?
Yeah, and a lot of bones. When I ate the snake, it kind of felt like I was eating ribs because you're kind of just eating.
Oh yeah, they got a bunch of
eating
tiny
the
bones
meat off the backbone.
Deep fried turtle looks pretty good. Did you
Not
ever have
for
a
me.
deep fried like gator bites or like blackened? You ever had blackened snake?
I've never had blackened snake.
A snake po' boy?
Do they sell those down south?
No.
Okay, I do. A little side note on Africa Town. They don't call it Africa Town. They call it something a little more offensive.
Okay.
But would you like to guess?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. So this is the Chinese in Guangzhou call it Chocolate City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that song Chocolate Rain.
I knew it had something weird like that. Yep. And it's the neighborhood around Xiaobei.
Okay.
All right. Well, chaps, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, soon. All right, everybody, let's do some Gettin Cultured.
Drop a Pin is brought to you by Blue Chew. Guys, enter the room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. This isn't a supplement, it's an erection resurrection. Guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about legacy, or shall we say third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know when you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at bluechew.com. And right now, we've got a special deal for our pinheads. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code DROP at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. So once again, that's bluechew.com for details and safety info. And a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Drop a Pin is also brought to you by Huel, and we have some big news. Huel has launched into Target stores nationwide this month. They've launched their Black Edition ready to drink and their Daily Greens ready to drink. So go to your local Target today. I've got some big goals fitness-wise. Just wrapped up Pekin, British Columbia, watched those videos. But something I noticed on that trip is I have very weak hips. So my goal this fall is to drink a lot of Huel. Their ready-to-drinks have 35 grams of protein and 27 essential vitamins and minerals. So yeah, I'm just going to be pounding Huel and then hitting the gym, trying to strengthen my hips, strengthen my knees, because I want to keep hiking and filming those videos, but I don't think it's very sustainable in the current shape I'm in. But I'll be back on the trail in no time with Huel. They have no artificial sweeteners. They're gluten-free, are ready to go, and under $5 per meal. Their Daily Greens is developed by registered nutritionists and dietitians and includes 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods. They only have 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and 1 gram of sugar. Huel makes healthy eating simple. They also just launched into Target stores nationwide. Try both products today with 15% off your purchase for new customers with the exclusive code WONTON. Once again, that is WONTON at huel.com/wonton. So use my code, fill out the post-checkout survey, and help support the show. I'm going to be getting fit fast with Huel. Let's get back to the pod. Okay, I didn't want our episode on Guangzhou to just be me talking about partying with a bunch of scousers. So today, for the Getting Cultured segment, we have an actual Cantonese person. He is Cantonese American, born in America, but his family is from Guangzhou, and he's the owner of 3LP in Chicago, one of my favorite Chinese food spots. Welcome, Henry, to the pod.
How you doing, guys?
What's your last name?
Kai.
Kai.
But
All right.
it's pronounced Choi, so
Really?
yeah. So Kai, C-A-I is the Mandarin pronunciation of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so
Then it'd be like Tsai, but in Cantonese, it's
it's
Choi.
Choi. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Cantonese language on the pod. They have like 6 tones or
You got
9 tones?
maybe more than that, but like they got like the really small dialects in certain villages, but it's really about speed and how, you just go ba pa ma fa,
it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a wild sounding language.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
cool though. The segment we're going to be doing with Henry is called Ask a Chinese Person.
Yeah. Yep.
So me and Chaps have some questions for him, and we're also going to open it up to the peanut gallery, starting with the only Chinese person at Barstool Sports, Stephen Cheah. So a little Chinese on Chinese action.
What's up, dude?
Different than I
You're
usually
full
watch.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Half, half.
Oh,
My dad is from Hong Kong. My mom is from New Jersey.
you speak it?
No.
Okay.
Dude,
I knew you could tell he's part Asian.
yeah.
Yeah. you could
But
tell.
I mean, he's not very well cultured. Like, I don't even
True.
know if he could find Hong Kong on a map.
Probably I could, but it's not a certainty.
Okay.
In all fairness, Hong Kong is really small on the map,
Yes.
though. So
You do know that it's a what?
It's an island.
Boom.
Yeah.
He's learning. I think I taught him that. But yeah, so you have never been to Hong Kong, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No distinct desire to. It's just a really, really far flight. That's so far away.
Yeah. But is your like dad fluent in Cantonese?
Yes. Yes. For sure.
Okay. And
He grew up there. Came to the States when he was 17, I believe, or 18.
all right. But do you know at least like a couple words in Cantonese?
Under a handful.
Say one.
Hua diu.
Dew.
All
That
right.
means fuck. Yeah. I can say that, right?
All right, let's go.
Yeah. You know, poke guy. You don't know that?
Guai Jai.
Guai zai. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what these two are.
Good
That
boys.
means what? Yeah. Oh, guai zai.
Yeah.
Oh, guai zai is good boy, but
Also
guai
turtle.
guai zai is like white.
Ah.
Quite.
See, that's a perfect example of
Guai lo is
like
more.
that sounds
Yeah.
close to
but
the
you
same.
could say guai zai too.
So,
Yeah.
but if you call a white person a guaylo,
Yeah.
that kind of means like white devil, or
Well, I mean, it translates to that, but it just means white boy.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like you're calling me a white devil, all right? Does not sound like white boy to me.
Yeah.
But Cheah, what's your question for Henry?
So I grew up going to a lot of Chinese restaurants. I have Chinese family, so dim sum, everything. One thing I never got, and I got around to trying recently, but the look of it grosses me out. I'm so surprised this is like a very popular dish, is chicken feet. What is up with chicken feet being served? Because it comes out looking like they just cut
I don't
the
eat
chicken's
that
feet off.
neither. you eat. It's called
do,
feng.
no?
So it's called feng jiao.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat that. But the
But it is
translation of
very
feng
popular.
jiao is phoenix.
Phoenix.
Phoenix claw.
A phoenix.
Yeah,
claw.
feng.
All right.
Yeah.
like the phoenix rising from
Yeah.
the ashes. Yeah.
But like, why do you think it became so popular in Canton and just southern China in general?
I think a lot of it is, I mean, it's a delicacy. It's considered a delicacy, right? But I mean, I don't eat it myself. I'm not into, toe sucking, at least for chicken.
I've been known to suck some toes.
yeah.
I think it's like, there's not a lot of meat on it. It's mainly skin and cartilage. Do you think it's just because they just want to use every piece of the chicken and they're not going to let something go to waste?
Yeah, our people are known to, save money. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do like to use every part of every animal. So
I can change it up. Mango pudding is available. Is a very common dessert at Chinese restaurants. I've never heard of that in any other culture's dessert menu. Even in the States, it's very hard to find unless you're at a real like Chinese restaurant. What is and mango as a flavor? I think is a big Asian thing. What's up with that?
well, mango is more a seasonal fruit in the U.S., right? So mangoes they exist year round in South Asia. So like in Thailand and stuff like that. So it's not that hard to get in Hong Kong. So mango bodin. That's how you say in Cantonese. It's actually not just Chinese. In Thai culture, South
really?
Asian culture, they like Filipino culture. They love mangoes and mango pudding.
Yeah, it's in a lot of Thai fried rice too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sticky rice. Like the best mangoes I ever had was in Thailand. So
Really? Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's like, back to the chicken feet. I think America actually like sends their surplus chicken feet to Asia because or else in the United States, we're probably just going to be throwing those out. But they're like, no, we could actually make some profit just selling it back to Asia.
That's a good point too, because same thing with chicken skin. Like a lot of American cuisine, you don't use the chicken skin, and the Chinese or the Asian restaurants, they buy the chicken skins and fry them.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah.
There was a little like Taiwanese hole in the wall spot where you could just buy a bag of fried chicken skins. And I don't know, I personally love chicken skin. If you're just eating boneless, skinless chicken breasts, you're a vanilla square loser.
White devil.
A white devil.
Quite low. Yeah.
Dude, especially like at home, if I'm gonna make a meal, if you get skin on, bone in chicken thighs, those are a million times better than just eating a chicken breast without skin or bones.
So that tastes basically like the chicken version of chicharrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Another reason they were saying they're so popular is that in like Cantonese culture, texture is the star, not necessarily how much meat something has. They have a word for it. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Huagam. Huagam. How do you say that? Huagam.
Where's the Chinese character? Oh, how? So that's mouth. Ho gum.
So like
Yeah.
mouth feel, because that's why like
How gum? Gum is like feeling.
yeah. And that's like the reason why I know that I was going to ask you about this, that like shark fin soup was really
that's
popular.
delicious. Yeah.
And that's because of the texture of shark fin that they like love. It's not that it's such like a great tasting meat.
I like it. You don't like it?
I've never tried shark fin, dude.
Not even in Hong Kong?
No. I think that's when they had passed the law making it illegal. But I'm sure they have a street in Hong Kong called like Shark Fin Alley, and I remember walking down it, and you could see all the shark fins just drying on the
They had it in Chicago for a while. I'm sure there's some spots that still
I've had it growing up. Yeah, that used to be a pretty common.
You've had shark fin soup too.
Yeah.
Wow.
When was the law passed? Because I had it in Canada and here I'm sure too.
So I know Yao Ming came out and he was like, I'm going to make it my mission to kind of ban shark fin soup. He was also the owner of the Shanghai Shacks. Let's go Shacks. But yeah, no, he is. So like, I think in China you would see like ads in like magazines and it's like Yao Ming says no to shark fin soup.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he was trying to get it off the menus. The other weirdest Cantonese food I can think of is bird's nest. Have you had that?
I've had that. It's gross.
What's that?
What is that?
It's actually they actually have a lot of health benefits too.
Yeah.
But not for me.
It's like it's a bird's nest, but the type of bird makes the nest with like their spit. Yeah, so search bird's nest soup. And that is not illegal. I remember it was like very expensive, but go back to the main.
It's from, you say their spit?
Yeah, read that. So
It's made from the saliva of swiftlets, resulting in a gelatinous texture.
How do you milk spit?
they don't milk spit, so they just use that spit to they spit on stuff and then it hardens, and that's what they use to make their nest, and then they just harvest the bird's nest and put it in a soup.
So it's like a broth, essentially, like a stock that's made from a bird's nest that's made from bird spit.
Well, it looks like an actual nest. Like, see if you just search like Chinese bird's nest. So first it's dried like that thing. If you click on the Wikipedia page, yeah, like right there. So that's what it looks like. And then you just put that in like a stock and you put that in soup.
That's way more appetizing. I was picturing like a swallow's nest.
Yeah, I mean,
when it dries out, it does look a lot more like a nest.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, dry it out. Yeah.
Now, can you still get bird's nest soup probably in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Is that seen as like a very expensive delicacy?
Yeah, it's not an everyday thing, like abalone. Yeah.
Abalone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that, but that's
it's good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
What's that?
I don't even know how to explain that in English, to be honest.
It's a it's kind of like a clam or a mussel. It's spelled Abalone.
It's
So-
really good.
It's a sea creature.
Okay. Kind of like gooey ducks.
Yeah, except without a huge cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the texture is similar to like a mushroom type.
Okay.
plant.
Yeah, that's what it essentially looks like. It looks like a button mushroom.
But it comes from the sea, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. They like grow on rocks. Well, Cheah, you're actually more cultured than I thought. The fact that you've had bird's nest soup and everything. Well, I'm
Shark fin soup. I haven't
Oh,
had
yeah,
the bird's nest. But yeah,
shark's fin soup. I mean,
why not
that
eat?
is you learn something new every day.
Yeah,
Shark's better.
yeah.
You're not missing much on the bird's nest.
But we can't normalize shark's fin soup. This podcast disavows shark's fin soup.
Kind of pro.
Dude, do you know how they make the shark fin soup? They just
I have a good idea.
but they go and fish. They catch a shark and then they just chop off the fin and throw the shark back in, and then the shark slowly dies. They don't use the rest of the shark.
I disavow that process. I don't like if we're talking farm raised shark. I'm good with it.
Or if you're going to use the whole shark and you're going to make some shark steaks and stuff, but I just think it's fucked up when they only chop off the fin and then
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Okay.
I disavow that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I ate a lion and tiger, so I can't disavow just like
You
Good
ate
point.
a
Get
tiger
off your
before?
high- Get
a
off
tiger
your high
burger.
horse.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
they were selling one in Mexico City. It was disgusting.
And you ate horse.
Now, yeah, horse. I've got a soft spot in my heart for horse. Raw horse in Japan was delicious.
Have you had raw whale? In Japan?
I've had fermented
had whale.
whale.
I had
like
whale in
the kind that they do in Iceland.
Yeah, that's the one place I tried a piece of whale before.
It tasted like absolute piss with meat.
Well, yeah, that's the fermented stuff.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I had a piece of non-fermented
Icelanders are
whale.
disgusting.
I think it was like right whale. It wasn't horrible, but no, I'm not a big eating whale or dolphin guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that as a stance.
Yep. I have to draw the line somewhere.
You really do.
Yeah. All right, Jay. Well, thank you
thank you,
so
guys.
much. Could you send in Nicky Smokes?
Oh, God.
While we wait for him to come in, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Just because we have a Chinese person here. Do Chinese people sweat?
I mean, I do. But then again, I'm American, you know. But no, Chinese people do sweat. I actually had this conversation with a Korean and a Vietnamese guy a couple of days ago. Shout out David and Donnie, that they think Koreans don't sweat. Have you heard that before?
I don't. Yeah. So one time.
This is the first time hearing of nobody's that.
Yeah,
there's
they don't need deodorant.
in the group that does it.
Dude, I like.
Koreans don't.
Yeah, apparently. I just found that out.
I need to get in on some of that. I walk outside when it's 84 degrees outside. I'm sweating buckets.
Yeah, and I don't know if I fully believe you, Henry. I don't think I've ever. I've never seen you sweat.
That's because I don't exercise.
In
so.
the kitchen, in the kitchen, you got to right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. It turns out Chinese people biologically, yes, they sweat.
Right.
But
That's a good question.
their sweat does not smell as bad.
Oh.
You know what it is? I think it's the hair thing. I have like 5 strands of chest hair. I'm sure Moog.
Oh, yep. So here it says East Asians tend to have fewer smelly sweat glands. So you have 2 types of sweat glands. Only one of them cause body odor. And I guess East Asians have less of those glands.
Let's go.
Let's go. So that's the reason I bring this up is I was having sex with a Chinese girl once.
Nice.
In Shanghai.
How was that?
And this was in the middle of the summer in Shanghai. It gets hot as balls, and the AC in my room was not working. And like afterwards, this girl was just drenched in my own sweat. I was just like sweating all over her, and she was like, "Something wrong with you?"
Yeah.
This guy's a white devil.
Yeah, she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it's hot as balls. The AC stopped working." And she was like, "Yeah, like we don't really sweat like that."
Yeah.
That's got to be disgusting for somebody that doesn't sweat that much to have your
might not.
whole ass on them.
If they don't sweat, do they
Yeah,
get
it must
wet?
be traumatizing. What?
Do they still get wet?
Good question, Nick.
What does that question even mean?
Like,
I
if
mean,
they-
Donnie,
Chinese
you're
people
talking
get
about
wet?
having sex with an Asian person. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty.
Oh, do they get wet? I
Do they
thought you meant.
secrete
I thought you
anything?
meant if I just poured a glass of water on her, like, would she get wet?
No.
No, she's not made of latex.
Yeah, I was like, does her skin naturally just like repel water?
So is her skin
Yes.
basically like a wetsuit?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah. That's what I thought he was asking. Yes, Asians get wet. Everybody gets wet.
Just a joke, baby.
I think if you don't get wet, you probably shouldn't be having sex.
That's very true.
Or you're an otter.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah.
Otters have dry sex.
Nope. They're for Wicks water away.
All right, so Smokes, what question do you have for Ask a Chinese Person?
So Donnie was telling me you never lived in China, correct?
Actually,
you
that's
have?
wrong.
Okay.
When my parents moved here, my dad's a chef and my mom's a baker. So they just started their job, and when I was born, they shipped me out to Hong Kong. I had to stay there for 3 years because they were just getting settled.
Perfect.
in
And
stuff like that.
you obviously have had family out there that
Yeah.
have lived there. Okay, so my question is, and it stuck with me, when I was in middle school, they were showing us videos of people that were living in China and asking them about their government. And some of them were actually like, hey, we love communism. I don't know why people are always pressing us about that. So my question to you is, A, do people enjoy living in the communist country, and B, do they also they're like, hey, we're cool with this, like we're not looking for democracy?
So there's two different sides to this. Like my father, he didn't enjoy communism, per se, but there were benefits, he says. Back then in the village, there would be no windows, no doors, and they don't have to worry about crime. Right? If you steal an apple in the grocery store, it's on site, so there's that.
Right.
So you feel a lot safer.
There's
but
no
then,
tolerance,
there's
right.
no, it actually affected my family too. My aunt was top of her class, but because of communism, she was forced to be a factory worker.
That was that was my next question. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was always fascinated by that. So you said she had to be a factory worker. When is that decided, and how is that decided?
I don't know how it was decided, but like if you had like dreams of doing something, like my dad, he wanted to be a chef, but in the beginning, they made him a mechanic.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's changed a little bit now in China, but how old is your dad? And
73 now. He just had his birthday, so happy birthday to my dad.
Shout out Pops.
Yeah.
So it's not like you come out the womb and they're like mechanic, doctor.
No. I mean, I think they should have looked more into like what academics they were flourishing in, and then decide. But obviously, my aunt, she wanted to be a scientist. She was top of her class, great in science, and then she had to work in a factory.
So does that mean there's like a low unemployment rate?
Yes.
Like if the government's like, hey, you're doing this, like you have a job right here, right now. So everyone's got a job.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So,
But do they resent the government
some
as
do.
much as
Some do. I'm sure there are still people that have pictures of Mao on their wall somewhere. Especially the older cats. Like the 70, 80-year-olds. They have a picture of Mao Zedong on the wall.
Who is that?
That's like
He was the
Stalin
founder
Of communism?
of communist China.
Yeah.
Okay.
But have you talked to your family members that live in China now, and have they said like it's changed a lot?
Oh yeah, it's definitely made strides. In politics and the economy for sure. I think, there's a stereotype on if it's made in China, it's shitty, right? But now they've made strides in technology, their cars, even you remember when they were making all those bootlegs and they were making that bootleg formula.
Yeah.
And a lot of babies died because of that. It was like over 10 years ago, but they're trying to improve that and just grow out of the whole bad stereotype. So
And like the cars, there's luxury Chinese cars now that they're making. I just Googled it, and that's not a thing anymore where they choose your job. Like, isn't it more of a, for lack of a better word, I guess there probably is a word, a looser communism?
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
looser
Yeah.
now, where
Yeah.
there is elements of capitalism that's involved
For sure.
too.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think that started in the 90s when they opened up to Western trade. And now like the manufacturing in China is becoming so good that it's actually like too expensive. So a lot of the factories a lot of the companies that would do their manufacturing in China, they've been forced to move to Vietnam or Bangladesh or something just because it's becoming like too developed.
I also saw a quote from like their version of the Secretary of the Treasury that when he was talking about like the tariffs and all that, and he goes, China is wholly unconcerned with whatever America does with as far as tariffs. We were here for 5,000 years before the United States, and we'll be here 5,000 years after the United States. If you don't want to trade with us, we'll find somebody who does.
I'm glad you brought that up because
What a baller statement.
Baller statement. That was my bonus question. Like, do they hate Americans over there?
Like in defense though, for America, like when I was, I think 13, 14, when Walmart started existing and, you know, Sam's Club, like China's economy did boom because of, you know, the amount of demand from the States, right?
Oh yeah.
And then, but now they're flourishing where they can make money off their own people. You know, their own people are making purchases more than this country.
And that's the capitalistic like influence on like the side of communism.
Yeah, look at Love Boo Boos. They came from China and
those are taking off.
$1 billion industry now. So
But yeah, Smokes, from when I lived in China, they did not hate Americans. I think there are obviously pockets of people that might. And when Trump got elected, it did get, and especially when COVID happened, that did kind of hurt U.S.-China relations a bit because, you know, our media was blaming China for COVID. Their media was blaming America for COVID. So that did cause some animosity. I knew some people that were living in China at the time, and he was like, when I was walking down the street, some people might cross to the other side of the road if they saw a Westerner, because just like that's what they were seeing in the media. Like, oh no, COVID actually came from the West. But overall, when I was there, I had like no really incidents of anti-Americanism.
I'm with Donnie on that too. Like there are certain towns or certain people that don't like Americans, but same thing here. There are some people in the States that don't like the Chinese, and
the xenophobia exists everywhere.
You know, so
Cool. Can I ask one more? I'm sorry. I know I was only supposed to ask one, but like now my brain's flowing.
Well, I love it. Good question so far too, Nick.
Yeah.
So like ethnicity wise, like here, you know, you got whites, blacks, Spanish, Asians. Is there like sub-Asian, like in China, like ethnicity wise?
yeah.
Is that a good question? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
there are different. Are you talking about subcultures, or are you just talking about?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, there are a lot of different subcultures. Same thing with, you know, Western civilization. You know,
And is there like beef within those subcultures? Like,
yeah,
they're
of
fucking
course.
this up.
Yeah.
No, they're fucking that up.
Yeah, the North and the South. You know, there's I used to date a lot of Northern girls, and they look down on the Southern people because
Why?
Just because they think they're cheap.
Okay.
Like,
I was going to say they just look down literally because Southern Chinese people are usually shorter than Northern Chinese people.
that's a fact too. Really? Northern girls and up north, they're 5'5", 5'6". That's considered pretty tall
For a girl, yeah, anywhere.
Yeah.
So is Yao Ming from the north?
Yep.
See? All right, there we go.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's based on diet or something, or just?
I think diet does have something to do with it, but most of it is genetics. You know, it's a lot colder up there, so they do have, you know, I would say just stronger genes.
Okay.
Just to, you know, adapt, right? So.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
That's all I got. Cool. Thank you, brother.
And
Thank you.
Do you need me to grab anyone or?
You could if you see someone. I know White Sox Dave said he would come on. Yeah. So the dominant, I guess, like group of people in China though are the Han Chinese, right?
I want to say dominant, but like, you mean like
the most like populous.
population-wise? Oh, okay, yeah, they're more north.
Okay, yeah. All right, we got White Sox
what's up,
Dave.
dude?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say, like, what are the biggest differences between Cantonese people and Mandarin people? So,
Well, to Northerners, they think that the Southern people just like to save money, don't like to, they're scared to do business, and just, you know, don't enjoy life, you know. And I mean, I've seen my parents, you know, they've saved every dollar since they moved here. That's 40 years ago. So.
wow.
Yeah, and then the Northerners, those are the ones that are going to your Louis Vuitton stores, you know, spending that money when you go into, you know, Gold Coast and you see all those Asians.
Oh.
They're predominantly Northern Chinese.
Mandarins are the flashy.
Yep.
Are the flashy
Yeah,
Chinese?
you know, yeah, they
Okay.
buy that expensive car, you know, they'll you know, and then not to generalize, but
yeah, because
it's
in
the
Hong
truth.
Kong,
Yeah.
there's a lot of flashy Cantonese people too. But it varies.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. What question do you have for our guest Chinese person?
Well, to start, I gotta say it's very weird being in this seat, not being completely stoned out of my skull. It's
Fair.
actually, it feels very, very strange right now. But my question is this: I was thinking, so how often do you? So when you see like a map of China, you see the like the line drawn down the middle, where 95% of the population's in mostly in the eastern third, and then as you get farther west, it's a lot less densely populated. So how often do people in China travel from city to city? Like we go from New York to LA,
Oh, yeah.
or you know what I mean?
Really often.
Often?
Yeah, really often. Now, a lot of Northerners back to Hong Kong. A lot of Northerners, they go to Hong Kong and, just see different things. I mean, a lot of cities are developing throughout China, so they're traveling to see new things, new sites, stuff like that.
And you grew up here, obviously, but your parents are, how long have they, 4 years they've lived here,
40.
you said? 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been here for a minute. So what do they say about how big industry and manufacturing has gotten in those 40 years? Because you see like, port cities in China, pictures of like the 1970s, and it's like, wooden huts. And now in 2025, it's like gigantic, beautiful skyscrapers and like
Shenzhen.
Yeah.
how did these cities come to be in like a couple of decades?
I think they just, again, I'm really proud of their country too. Like, just making strides in technology. I mean, you see them on the phone, Huawei, and the cars and everything. They're just really trying to be self-reliant. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like in the 90s and the early 2000s, they had like 10% growth rate or 15% growth rate, which was like unheard of. And the reason Shenzhen grew is because that was the first city, the only city that could do like trade and business with the Western world. They eventually opened up the entire country, but at first it was like just Shenzhen. So
And
that's where all foreign investment.
How long
That's
ago was
actually
that?
the tech capital.
Yeah. Now
So
it's
it's
where
like
like
your Silicon Valley kind of.
Yeah, it's
Sort
where
of,
like DJI is based and like a bunch of other Chinese tech companies.
And China's being like really forward thinking as far as the development of Africa, like buying up all kinds of ports.
Oh,
And
speaking of what you were talking about, moving the manufacturing, like my uncle from Hong Kong, he used to own some toy factories, and they were building ducks, and he was telling me that a lot of the factories were moving to Africa because the labor is cheaper there versus in China. So
Yeah, huge swaths of land in the United States as well, farmland. Like the port cities, there's a bunch in like Singapore and Thailand that they are now the controlling.
In Illinois, I was hunting last fall with Sidney Wells' dad, and he told me, he's like, if you shoot a deer and it runs on the other side of this fence, which was a few hundred yards away, he's like, you can't get in there, that's Chinese land. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the Chinese have started buying farmland down here. I'm like, oh, okay.
The ton.
You're in an interesting position. You have family that are in Hong Kong, and then you have family that are in Guangzhou. So they're you got mainland family, Hong Kongese family. Is there like animosity between those two sides of the family?
Yes.
Or yeah?
yes, because there are they're all from Guangzhou, obviously, right? But some people were, when they had kids, they were born in Hong Kong, and then they just didn't like. A lot of people moved out of Hong Kong, dude. When China took it back, you know, and some people were just on China's side, some people were just on Hong Kong's side, and then when there was riots were going on, like a lot of Chinese families were going through it, especially in America. Like you're kind of forced to choose sides here, and
there is. I used to see that in Hong Kong where the Hong Kongese would be like, oh, we don't really fuck with the mainlanders, or like Hong Kong tourism is huge with mainland Chinese,
right.
and they'd be like, we need less mainland Chinese tourists and stuff. They would always get upset just because I guess Hong Kong considers themselves like more Western just because they were part of the British Empire for so long. But now it's kind of like they're like, no, now Hong Kong is part of China, and they're still like, no, we're not part of China, like we're our own thing.
A lot of it is not just even before the riots, they just kind of look down on mainlanders because they think that they're not clean, they're not like Chinese people, they they all smoke cigarettes. Obviously, you know that, right? Majority does, and then my grandfather growing up, I would see him spitting on the floor all the time, and the people in Hong Kong always talk shit about the mainlanders that do that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There would be a big thing. This isn't huge these days in China, but the slit pants, where it's like a lot of babies won't have a diaper on. They'll just have like a slit in the back of the pants, and then you can hold the baby over a trash can or just hold them
Yeah,
over the
shit,
floor
yeah.
and they can shit. And like there was like one mainland Chinese person who did that in Hong Kong, and then someone filmed a video of it and the video went viral, and then all the Hong Kongese are like, see, this is why we don't want mainlanders coming. They're gonna
And that's
they're gonna
like
poop on the
that's
ground.
the relationship today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
still-
not like a
yeah.
developing thing. That's
No, it's been going on, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody's from the mainland,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is when I played Hong Kong in American football, when I was playing American football out there, our Shanghai team traveled to Hong Kong and played, and like a couple of the Chinese people on my team were talking shit to the Hong Kongese team, and it got heated. They were like yelling like, Hong Kong is China. And this is what they're yelling like on the offensive defensive line, and shit was getting heated. And finally our coach had to call a timeout, and he was like, no more talking shit, all right? Like we're not bringing politics onto the football field.
Can we bring it back to mothers, please?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mama jokes.
Yes, yes. Talk about their moms all you want.
Yeah.
Do not talk about politics. All right, cool. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you guys. Learned a lot.
Cool.
In that brief. Great to have you back in, Henry.
All right, bud.
Good seeing you as always.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right, Henry, I have one for you. I mean, I think most people know about the one Chinese policy, the one child policy. And when that got rescinded and went to 2 and now 3, is there any concerns really? Because I read an article that now India has the most in population. They've passed China as far as population goes. And there's estimates that in the next 30 to 40 years, the Chinese population will go all the way down to 650 million. Is there like a big push for them to have more children so that population decline won't continue like it is now?
I don't think there's a big concern about that, but like I think the whole world is,
Yeah.
trying to. I mean, I don't know if it's on purpose, but the new generations, they just don't want to have kids.
Too expensive.
Yeah. So
And now I also read a story about that too, where you don't need kids to help you farming. Like,
Oh, yeah, that
there's
used to be
so
huge
many
back in the
different
day.
jobs that you used to have your kids. Like I was in Kentucky a couple weeks ago, and one of the guys that was there, he was like, you used to never find farm owners around here that didn't have 9, 10 kids, because by the time they were 12, 13, they were the ones that were putting in the fence post around. Now you have to hire somebody to do that. So your razor thin margins get more and more thin when you don't have unpaid labor like your children.
Yeah.
that's why they always wanted boys. I mean, obviously, number one is to carry on the legacy and the last name, but they wanted males because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean, in Ireland and everywhere, like you had huge families.
Yeah.
They were all helping you out. And you would have huge families because, like, not all kids made it past the age of like 4 or 5.
Right. The mortality rate was much higher.
My last question, and then we'll wrap it up, is warm water. At least in mainland China, no one is drinking ice cold water. It's all the water you get at restaurants. It's always going to be lukewarm to hot. Why is that?
I actually hate lukewarm water. Like
Yeah.
even below 0, I have to drink ice water.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's me, right? But I think I'm not too sure about that question. I think maybe it's the Chinese have a thing called hey. Maybe it has something to do with that, right? Remember last time I was telling you about why we drink a lot of tea and stuff like that, because when you're eating fried food, you get this certain feeling, right? Like where your body is like really warm and flustered, and then that cold water is not supposed to be good for you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all it's like the Cheah or something. I thought you would know this.
No.
Your
Because
parents haven't. They've never.
they don't drink ice water though.
I know, but
Yeah.
so your parents have never taught you why they
No.
drink warm water?
No.
Because I've learned all about this in China, but no, it's
I
just,
didn't know. I never.
it's all like the Qi. Is that the term? Like where I think it's kind of like you have like warm foods and hot foods, and yeah, I think it does come down to just the science of like digesting. I think after a big meal, having warm water will help you digest. Where if like you're eating a ton of like warm food, hot food, and then you're just chugging cold water, it kind of like throws off the chi of your body. Is that the term? I don't want to.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father does the Tai Chi stuff, so he meditates and all
Yeah, I
that
think it
shit,
might.
so.
I think chi might just mean balance, but I don't want to get it completely wrong.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's all the belief in balancing your yin and yang.
Yeah, I don't do that. Like coffees, even if it's like ice cold outside, I have to drink iced coffee.
I'm an iced coffee guy too.
Yeah.
I am. At first it really threw me off when I got there. You eventually get used to it. But yeah, it's so not chi, it's just the yin and yang. So the warm water can nourish the organs, help digestion, and keep the energy flowing. So that's why they'll tell you, like, if you have a cold, drink warm water. If you have cramps, drink warm water. If you are experiencing heartbreak, drink warm water. They think it can fix a lot. And I think it just historically, warm water was safer to drink too. You know, if you like boil it first, you can kill it all. But yeah, personally, I'm an ice water guy as well.
Yeah. Ice water podcast. Everybody. I'm not. Sam? Warm or
Goldfinger
cold?
loves lukewarm water.
Yeah.
I can't even like when you buy the water bottles. I can't even just leave it out. It has to be come straight out of the fridge.
Yeah, you got to get that. You got to get that cold first.
Imagine drinking lukewarm Gatorade. You know, it's,
No. Or
No.
like soda with no ice.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's not going to hit.
no, I can't do it.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes,
Great question.
1,000%.
Yes. I had to ask that because I know
1,000% yes.
ghosts are big in Cantonese culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just we're really superstitious people. Like I don't like if I look at my clock right now and it has the number 4, I'm not a big I just chill for a little bit.
Why do Chinese people hate the number 4?
So 4, when you say the number 4, say, that's 4, right? And when you say deaf, say is deaf.
It's just a change in tone.
Same thing with the number 8. 8 means fortune, and then so bat is 8.
Yes.
Right, and then fa
Is
it's getting rich.
his fortune. So
Yeah.
yep. So a lot of buildings in China just won't have a 4th floor.
Yeah.
Just go 3 to 5.
Kind of like
Yeah.
13th floor for us.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Or the 9/11 floor.
What's the 9/11 floor?
Like if you had like
No, there's no.
I mean, I assume what if
Yeah.
if there's a building with like 1,000 floors, will they just not have 9/11?
yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell you why we think that 13's an unlucky number, but I don't know if you can either.
Friday the
Not off the
13th
top of the
thing,
dome.
right?
No,
That's for another pod. I think.
Yeah.
We'll get
That's-
into that.
That's for another pod.
Drop a pin in the 13th floor.
Shout out Henry for coming on. Boom. We also now have
Some
lunch.
Rangoons.
This guy makes the best fried chicken sandwich in the city.
Yeah.
Love to eat it.
Boom. We'll have to have you back on in the future.
Yeah. Anytime.
Should we just eat into the microphones for the rest of the pod, or yeah, people will love that.
No, I
A
mean,
little
if they,
muck,
maybe if they want
bang.
one. Oh, shit. These are the Rangoons. I'll give you one Rangoon crunch to end it.
Good crunch.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.